Playboy channel religious message. On September 6, 1986, during the airing of the film Three Daughters on the Playboy channel, a message was displayed on screen saying, quote, "Thus saith the Lord thy God, remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. Repent, the kingdom of heaven is at hand." From the Bible verses Exodus 28 and Matthew 4:17. The incident led to the conviction of Thomas Haney, an uptick engineer employed by the Christian Broadcasting Network, or CBN. Haney, who maintained his innocence throughout the case, became the first person convicted under a new federal law that made satellite signal piracy a felony, following the 1986 Captain Midnight incident. According to investigators, suspicion quickly fell on CBN because of the religious nature of the message and the type of equipment used to generate it. The interfering signal left behind subtle technical clues that were preserved on a VHS recording made at the Playboy channel's uptick facility during the broadcast. And after analyzing the recording, investigators concluded that they had identified the specific brand of transmitter and character generator used in the intrusion, leading them to believe the equipment matched the same operated by the CBN. Haney, who was based in Virginia Beach, was on duty as an uptick engineer at the time of the hijacking. Following the investigation, Haney was convicted of satellite piracy. He was sentenced to 3 years of probation, fined $1,000, and ordered to complete 150 hours of community service. The Playboy channel intrusion was one of the last major signal hijackings before the infamous Max Headroom television incident in November 1987. However, despite its significance, it attracted relatively little public attention and was soon overshadowed by the far more notorious Max Headroom case. Unlike many other broadcast intrusions, no known video recording of the Playboy channel hijacking has resurfaced, and given the limited publicity surrounding the event and passage of time, it is unlikely that the footage will ever be recovered. The only surviving visual evidence known to the public is a single still image, though the authenticity of it is questionable. Please pray the Rosary. The Family Rosary Crusade is a worldwide Catholic movement founded by Irish-American priest Patrick Peyton in the 1940s, whose mission was to encourage families to pray the Rosary together, as Peyton believed that praying the Rosary as a family strengthened unity, brought households closer to Christ, and deepened their relationship with God. To commemorate the movement's Golden Jubilee in 1992, the Philippine branch produced a television commercial featuring an apparition of the Virgin Mary urging families to pray the Rosary. Broadcasted exclusively in the Philippines, the commercial became one of the country's most recognizable advertisements thanks to its frequent airings, particularly on TV5, and its regular inclusion in the Family Rosary Crusade's hour-long television programs. The commercial opens with a monochrome close-up of the Virgin Mary's face, which slowly zooms away from the viewer as a choir sings in the background. The image is believed to originate from a painting of Our Lady of Medjugorje, although its appearance also closely resembles the image of Mary Mediatrix of All Grace, associated with the alleged apparition in Batangas, Philippines. Mary, voiced by Lydia Sisson, then delivers the message, quote, "I ask every family, please pray the Rosary." As Mary finishes her message, the words "Please pray the Rosary" appear in apple-grammon on a white background, accompanied by a handwritten Mama Mary signature in the lower right corner. The commercial then transitions to the slogan, quote, "The family that prays together stays together," displayed alongside a rosary while the narrator recites the phrase. Early broadcasts included the text Family Rosary Crusade Golden Jubilee, reflecting the campaign's 50th anniversary, while later versions removed Golden Jubilee and simply displayed Family Rosary Crusade. Furthermore, versions shown during the organization's television program instead used the title, Servant of God, Patrick Peyton's Family Rosary Crusade. Several alternate versions of the commercial were produced over the years, including the well-known Scarlet or Fade-In version, in which Mary's image gradually changes from bluish-gray to red instead of zooming out. Other variants featured different transitions, an animated rosary, and the ABC5 logo. The campaign also expanded beyond television through newspaper advertisements, a radio adaptation, and a text-only version shown during the closing credits of ABC5 programs. The commercial reportedly began airing before December 1992 on PTTV4 and IBC13, before expanding to other Philippine networks. On February 1st, 1994, it replaced the earlier We Ask for Peace PSA as a regular station identification on ABC5, where it remained for years. According to viewer reports, the commercial continued airing on various channels until 2018. The commercial attracted renewed interest online in the late 2010s, with the first zoom-out version being uploaded to YouTube in 2009. while additional variants, including the well-known Scarlet version, were gradually recovered between 2021 and 2025 through uploads by collectors and television preservationists. Furthermore, the newspaper advertisement and both known radio versions have also since been recovered. While most of these variants have been found, the animated television variant still remains lost. Kenshokai Plays. Kenshokai, which translates to the Society for Revealing the Correct Teaching, is a Nichiren Shoshu Buddhist group based in Saitama City, Japan. Founded in 1957, the group has long produced theatrical performances for members during events such as youth camps. However, unlike most amateur stage productions, these plays featured popular entertainment characters without authorization, as a way to promote their religious teachings. The group's most infamous productions were a series of Doraemon stage plays. Broader awareness of these performances began on October 17, 2015, when a recording of one was uploaded to Nico Nico. In the play, Doraemon, Nobita, and the rest of the main cast are depicted as devoted Kenshokai followers, who ridiculed Taisaku Ikeda, the president of Soka Gakkai, a rival Buddhist organization in Japan. The play concludes with Nobita declaring his determination to help expand Kenshokai. Adding to its surreal nature, the opening used a new oath, the theme song from the Pokemon special The Legend of Thunder. This combination left a strong impact on Nico Nico users, and the performance eventually became a meme across the Japanese internet. The 2015 upload was later identified as a performance from the August 2002 Kenshokai Boys Club camp, and referenced an earlier Doraemon play, whose recording remained unknown for years. That mystery, however, was resolved with the upload of a similar Girls Club performance in 2021, and the previously mentioned August 2001 Girls Club performance in 2022, which served as a prequel to the later productions. Although the Doraemon productions are the only Kenshokai plays that have been publicly documented through surviving recordings, statements from former members suggest that the organization also produced performances based on several other popular franchises. On the Japanese forum 5channel, multiple eyewitnesses described an Oranger stage play performed on December 10, 1995, while former Kenshokai members have also recalled an Anpanman play performed at the Women's Club camp in August 2001. A Pokemon-themed stage play has also been mentioned, though the evidence for it is considerably weaker. According to these accounts, the lost plays featured a similar premise to the Doraemon productions, with the characters mocking or confronting Taisaku Ikeda. While every known Doraemon stage play has since been recovered, it remains unknown whether the recordings of these other productions still exist or will ever resurface. Faaris, the Boy Who Became a Warrior. Faaris, the Boy Who Became a Warrior is an Islamic educational fantasy role-playing game released via PC CD-ROM in the UK in 2007. Developed by Islamic Byte Company, published by Quadimun, and distributed by Darussalam, it was marketed as the quote, first Islamic RPG. According to the game's description, the player assumes the role of 15-year-old Faaris, a skilled horseman who lives with his grandparents in a traditional Islamic home in a rural fantasy world. After returning from a trip to the forest, he discovers that his village has been destroyed and his grandparents have been kidnapped. Faaris then embarks on a quest to rescue them, battling magicians, demons, and the dark ruler of Draconia, Yabulon, while solving puzzles and learning about Islamic teachings through educational gameplay. Faaris became available through mail order on Quadimun's website on September 5, 2007. It was also sold by ukbooksplus.com and distributed by Darussalam International Publications to Islamic bookstores across the United Kingdom. The game appears to have had a very limited release and received little public attention, with it only being mentioned publicly by 2 users on the Islamic Board Forum in 2007. The first user, SwiftSword, purchased a copy from the London Central Mosque and described it as, quote, a very low-budget game with E-grade graphics and gameplay, but it's based all around Islam and has an interesting storyline. You learn surahs, seek out imams, fight sorcerers and jinns, and spread Islam throughout the land. Another user, TTT, reported seeing the game at Darussalam's booth during the Global Peace and Unity Convention, noting that it featured, quote, really nice nasheeds throughout the whole game, while teaching players duras and surahs. Later in 2007, an updated version 1.2 was released, with the developer mentioning that there was, quote, much talk of a Faaris sequel in the air, unquote. Despite this, no sequel was ever announced or released. Although the game remained available for purchase until at least 2010, it is now considered completely lost. No known copies have surfaced publicly, and no gameplay footage or screenshots are currently known to exist online. Falling. Falling was a 2008 independent drama film written, directed, and starring Richard Dutcher. Dutcher is an American filmmaker best known for his Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or LDS, themed films. Dutcher rose to prominence following the success of his 2000 film God's Army, a film about LDS missionaries that helped establish the Mormon cinema movement. Although Falling continued his exploration of LDS themes, it was released a year after he left the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in 2007. The film follows aspiring Hollywood couple Eric Boyle and Davey, whose failing careers lead them to abandon their LDS faith and make increasingly immoral decisions. Eric becomes a freelance stringer, filming violent crime scenes for television news, while Davey sacrifices her principles to advance her acting career, causing their marriage and lives to unravel. The film culminates with Eric's death after a final vision of an LDS temple, where he seeks redemption before passing away. The film premiered at a private screening during Sunstone in 2007, before receiving limited theatrical showings at the Gateway Theater in Utah in January 2008, and the Beverly Hills Music Hall later that year. Additional screenings followed at the Camelot Theaters in California in 2009, a VIP screening during Sundance in 2011, and a re-release at Broadway Center Cinemas in Salt Lake City in 2012. Dutcher later explained that he had originally intended to keep the film private, but was persuaded by his girlfriend to release it. Furthermore, he repeatedly stated that Falling would eventually receive a wide DVD release, but no such release has ever occurred. According to court documents filed in 2015, Dutcher had produced a limited number of DVDs and planned a DVD and Blu-ray release, alongside a quote mass-market remake with a new cast. He later claimed these plans were derailed by the release of Nightcrawler in 2014, which he alleged copied his film. In 2015, Dutcher filed a copyright infringement lawsuit against Bold Films, Open Road Films, and NBC Universal, arguing that Nightcrawler plagiarized Falling. Both films center on Los Angeles freelance stringers who film violent crime scenes for television, and Dutcher's attorney, Stephen Silverman, argued that these similarities were extensive enough for Nightcrawler to qualify as a derivative work under the US copyright law. The lawsuit survived multiple motions and summary judgment attempts, and in 2018, U.S. District Judge D. Benson ruled that enough substantial similarities existed for the case to proceed to jury. However, proceedings were delayed after Open Road Films filed for bankruptcy in September 2018. Although a trial was scheduled for April 2019, it never took place, and on August 19, 2019, Judge Benson dismissed the lawsuit, concluding that these shared elements were inherent to the stories about television stringers, and that the two films differed too greatly in their themes and overall expression to constitute copyright infringement. Despite never receiving a commercial release, several pieces of promotional material have surfaced online. 2 trailers remain available, a green band trailer on IMDb, and a red band trailer on YouTube. During the Nightcrawler lawsuit, Silverman also uploaded 3 clips from Falling, alongside 2 comparison videos highlighting the alleged similarities between the films, though these were removed by October 2020. Dutcher later used another clip from the film in his acting reel, which was likewise taken down. Brief, mostly inaudible footage also appeared in a 2010 Mormon Stories interview with Dutcher, while audio-only excerpts were broadcasted during interviews on City Views and Radio West. As of today, Falling remains unavailable to the public, making it one of Richard Dutcher's few feature films without an official home media or digital release.